Tracking your Saturday forecast, temperatures in the upper 60s today with partly sunny skies and west winds on the breezy side, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight, it's lighter winds and clear skies, but temperatures cool off into the 30s. Can't rule out a freeze or two outside of the Beltway. Then tomorrow, it's back to 57 with mostly sunny skies, and some clouds will come in tomorrow night. Rain may begin after 12 a.m. on Monday, and that will continue through Monday around lunchtime. Eventually, rain moves out Monday afternoon and we're dry for Tuesday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Troy Evans at the First Solar Weather Center.
65 right now at Reagan National. I'm Maria Leaf on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
The following program is paid for by its sponsors, who are solely responsible for its content. Views expressed are not necessarily the views of WMAL.
Helping you unlock the keys to your retirement. It's Abe Abish with the Retirement Key.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
It's the Retirement Key with Abe Abish on WMAL.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Abe to ask for his insight on ways you can better prepare for your financial future. Don't forget, you can find us anytime online at the retirementkey.com. And while you're on the website, click on the media tab and select book. And that is where you can learn more about Abe's book, The Retirement Mountain, the 7 Steps to a Long Lasting Retirement. A quick read, just a little over 100 pages, maybe not even 100 pages. You can read it in a weekend afternoon and get a lot of education and insight on ways to better prepare for your financial future. If you want a free copy of the book, all you have to do is come in for your first appointment. You can also get the book on Amazon, download a free chapter. Again, more book information on our website, theretirementkey.com. Click on the media tab, and that is where you can learn more, because more and more, especially in our neighborhood, Abe, here in Northern Virginia, folks have questions with all of the stuff we're seeing, more and more coming out of the White House about. You and I had off-air conversations. I was like, I think that this federal government layoff thing is just going to keep happening. It's just going to keep rolling out over the weeks and months to come.
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of activity here lately, Heather.
Yeah.
At the government level, contracting level, a lot of people are affected. And so we'll end up talking about that a little bit today, and kind of some of the scenarios of people that we have helped, a lot of conversations, a lot of things to consider when you have the option to take a buyout package, or perhaps that you get laid off. A lot of things to consider and decisions to make that you didn't have before. So we'll talk about that today.
Well, in just the first 2 months of this year, more than 220,000 workers were laid off. Many came as part of the federal government's DOGE initiative. The question for you, Abe, is in having these conversations with folks that are looking at these federal buyout packages, or with your everyday man and woman who's just getting into his 50s and 60s and might be perhaps a top employee, a top paid employee. Sure. And so they might be, if their company's in trouble in any way, they might be thinking, I don't know, they might lay me off. They might offer me some sort of package. So they come to you, they're in their 60s, they're saying they're worried about these things, losing their jobs, so close to retirement.
Yep.
How do you help? What is the process in these conversations?
Well, you can go at this alone, or you can have an experienced guide ready to walk with you every step of the way. And that's what we do as Phase 2 fiduciary retirement planners. Whether you're a federal employee and you just got laid off or took a buyout option, whether you're private in the private workforce and planning on retiring soon, or have an option like this to consider, you basically need to have a really good understanding, Heather, of your entire financial situation, the income coming in, the expenses, healthcare, your retirement assets, before you make a decision like this, if you're able to, right? And so some of the main things that you want to know and really think through and plan for as you're making these decisions is, number one, you want to assess your entire financial situation. That's evaluating savings, investments, retirement accounts. Definitely consider consulting an advisor, ideally, in our opinions, that Phase 2 fiduciary advisor that works with people solely 55 and older for the most part. That's who our firm works with. People in their late 50s, 60s, and 70s. You want to create a very realistic budget. You need to know, be honest with yourselves, what you are spending. One of the reasons people work longer than planned is because they don't have enough cash saved to cover their lifestyle in retirement. With retirement potentially lasting 30 years or longer, that's a lot of money to amass. But if you did do your job and you saved enough to live comfortably in retirement, then exiting the workforce is obviously much easier to do. You want to make smart use of your retirement accounts. You want to understand the rules to the game, understand what can be rolled over without tax or penalty, what you would pay taxes on if you did withdraw money, understand conversion options, rollover options, transfer options. These are all new things to you. If you haven't done them in the last handful of years, right? You were just working and socking money away into your accounts. Now you've got a lot of new decisions to make. We just had a couple that just took the buyout option. Both husband and wife, federal employees, worked for the federal government for 30 plus years. Wow. Both in their early 60s, right around the time to take Social Security. Woodbridge, Virginia is where they live and have been for a long time. About $2 million saved. 7 risk on our risk scale of 1 to 10. If 10 was all stock, 1 was all cash, or about a 7 or 70-30. They can take on some smart, prudent risk since pensions, Social Security, VA disability, and things like that cover, actually, in their case, all of the bills. Unsure about taking the buyout option. Called into the show, heard us talking about all of these options going on here lately and what's happening at the government level. Unsure if they should take the buyout option or not to retire. So they gave us a call, scheduled meetings to go through all of this. We ran the numbers and they determined they could easily retire.
Nice.
But they didn't know that for sure until they actually saw it up on our TV screen. Hey, here's your Navy pension. Here's your FERS pension. Ma'am, here's your FERS pension. Sir, here's your Social Security check. And ma'am, here's yours. And those 5 checks make a surplus, create a surplus. They create more income than they need to live off of.
Really?
And then there's another $2 million saved on top of it in the TSP, both TSPs and IRAs and things like that. So they're in very good shape, but they just wanted confirmation of that.
Of course.
And if you're not doing your own financial planning and looking at this stuff every day and don't know how to put all these reports together, you may have a good idea that you're in okay shape. You kind of know what you have saved or should. If you're opening up your statements right now, you should have a decent idea. But it's not until a phase 2 fiduciary financial planner or retirement planner runs the numbers that a lot of people get the real added confidence that they need and deserve. And again, when we added up all their guaranteed income sources, we figured out that those income streams cover all the bills, create a surplus, $2 million on top. That was the icing on the cake. With a big drop in their income next year, we determined that not only can they retire this year and he's going to get paid through the end of the year, but going into next year with about $2 million in the pre-tax bucket, tax planning is going to be the most important thing to them. You can imagine all of the wages are gone. Now we fall back on pensions and Social Security for the most part. Their income was getting cut in either a half or a third, gone from maybe, I think it was $350,000 of household income down to around 100, 120. Huge drop in income, drop in the tax brackets. That tax planning window and opportunity is going to just open up substantially for them. And that's going to be the main thing that we pursue heading into our second year of working with them. If you're listening right now, whether you work for the government and you're an employee with the government employee, or you're in the private workplace, you've just been offered a pension buyout package or option to take that package and retire, or you feel like you might be getting laid off soon, or you have just been laid off, or you're planning on retiring on your terms in the next couple of years, and you want to have all these numbers run for you to give you the added confidence you need to pull the trigger and retire with dignity and confidence, pick up the phone right now. If you're 55 years old and older, you save $500,000 or more for your retirement. Give us a call. We want to offer you that complimentary Where Do I Stand plan, that comprehensive plan to the next 5 callers and others, complimentary.
571-570-3559 for your complimentary Where Do I Stand plan. That's 571-570-3559. 571-570-3559. All right, so besides an abundance of federal employees here in the DC area, an abundance of NFL fans. So let's switch the subject up a little bit and talk football, Abe.
Free agency time.
That's right.
A lot going on in the NFL world as well.
The NFL all year round in the United States of America.
That's true.
Some NFL teams, after the close of the season, are asking the league to ban a play known as the tush push.
Oh, yeah.
It is when the quarterback is basically shoved by the defensive line and players behind him across